Moin, wir sind Lisa und Gregor.
Das heutige Video, why Germans don't eat meat anymore.
Yes, and today's video is brought to you by the world famous Feli from Germany. We will include a link in the description so you can go on over there and do all the YouTube stuff and help her out. We love Feli. So
yeah, she's great.
Please go help her. All right, so what you got to say about this?
So we're doing this video because we're going to be posting the Heute video. We haven't recorded it yet on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And the newest Heute video, Heute show, is they said something about vegan meat being renamed. So I don't know what's going on over there in Germany, but so I don't know. There's something going on. I don't know if you guys don't eat are majority vegan. There's a large group. And so, and then for some reason this popped up.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe because we were looking for that. I don't know.
Or people are searching, trying to understand what's happening in Germany. So we don't know what's happening.
It's super interesting because I think in Germany, if somebody had to stereotype what Germany is about, it's about beer and sausages
and meat. Yeah. So
this must be like vegan. A major movement that's happening or something. And I did talk to someone. Oh dang, I forget what video it was. It was one of the videos, and I remember at the end of the video, I asked. I think it was dang, I forgot the name of the city. You remember when I started talking about it? It was the one where he was sitting by himself and he was eating.
Bremen.
Yeah, Bremen.
Yeah.
And at the end of that video, I asked if they were a lot of heavyset people there.
Oh, right.
And they said that in Germany, there's a lot more vegetarian options than people realize, and vegan options at a lot of the restaurants and things like that. So that means it's something that's a conscious effort to maybe try and get healthier or something.
I don't know. Or we'll find out. We'll find out. We're recording that video tomorrow, but you guys won't see it till Tuesday.
Right.
But the Heute show, it's something about renaming the vegan food something different. So I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a look and see what Feli has to say.
Yeah, let's see what she's going to teach us.
Before we get going here, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Help us get up to 10,000. Actually, no, we're at 10,000.
Yeah.
We're like 13 away right now when we're recording.
No, I think we already made it.
We made 10,000.
Yeah, we made it.
What 10, am I saying?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
20,000. I'll help you along, Gregory.
I think I was thinking about the other channel because we're close to 30,000.
I know.
So okay. Sorry.
20.
Let's get to 20,000. All right, here we go. Let's see what it's about.
German cuisine. I'm sure most of you immediately think of things like bratwurst, schnitzel, pork roast, maybe rotisserie chicken. Well, that's definitely not what your standard German dinner looks like in 2024, because meat consumption in Germany is actually at an all-time low.
This is a year old.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio, on and off since 2016. And today I want to talk about a development in Germany that kind of seems counterintuitive to a lot of people at first. Isn't Germany the meat country? The home of sausages and this pile of raw meat that regularly goes viral on the internet? That's meant, by the way. And yes, people eat that as a bread spread and sometimes serve it in the shape of a hedgehog for whatever reason. And that country is eating less meat than ever before? Yep. But let's talk about what these numbers mean exactly, what the reasons for the lower meat consumption are, and how this compares to the situation here in the US. Spoiler alert, it's pretty different. In 2022, the meat consumption in Germany was at about 52 kilograms, so about 115 pounds per person for the whole year, which is the lowest it's been in over 30 years since they first started recording these numbers in 1989. So to be fair, historically, there were probably many times when the average meat consumption in Germany was lower than this, after World War I and II, for example. But when we look at the last 3 decades, this is a record low. The numbers for 2023 haven't been published yet, but if we look at the trend, we can clearly see that since about 2018, meat consumption has consistently gone down every year. And the average German actually ate about 9 kilograms, so about 20 pounds less meat in 2022 than they did 10 years prior in 2012. That's a decrease of about 15%. When we look at the different types of meat, it looks like pork is what people cut back on the most, followed by beef and veal, and poultry is the category that had the smallest decrease. But why? What makes Germans suddenly cut back on meat so much?
That's interesting. I kind of feel that kind of happened in the United States.
Is there like, well, in the US, pork is known for its parasites and how awful they're fed because they literally will eat anything. So they eat the garbage.
Well, I think that in the United States, I don't know the exact years, but I know that there's been like an increase of like healthier communities and stuff like that, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
Where they had more vegan options and you know, every menu had a vegan option. There's some cities that are extremely vegan. We were vegan once upon a time.
Yeah, I was going to mention that just so everybody knows, we went vegan in 2020, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we were vegan for about 2-ish years. We actually moved to Portland, Oregon. Not close to Portland, Oregon. About 10 minutes out, and we did that purposely because of the vegan scene.
Yeah, because in the United States, Portland is the second largest vegan city. Yeah, behind like New York or something.
Yeah, and at the time we were living in Austin, Texas,
which is like 4 or 5 or something.
Yeah, it didn't make a whole lot of sense, so that's why we wanted to go closer.
Right.
But yeah, so we were vegan for a while.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a trend. And that was like trending in the direction of less meat and stuff like that. So
yeah, no, I loved it.
Yeah.
I know you didn't feel well after a minute, but
yeah, that's why we stopped.
Right.
All right.
Well, the main factor here seems to be that more and more people in Germany are leaning towards a more plant-based diet. According to this survey by the Forsa Institute from 2023, about 9% of the German population is currently vegetarian, so they don't eat meat or fish. 3% are vegan, meaning they cut all animal-based products out of their diet, and often even out of their lives entirely. And about 41% of Germans refer to themselves as flexitarians. When you do the math, this means that more than half of the population in Germany is actively reducing their meat consumption in one way or another. And this is actually something that I've observed.
Flexitarian.
I don't know what that is.
Look it up real quick.
They're flexible?
I know. Flexitarian. Yeah, I don't know. Let's look it up.
Flexitarian. A flexitarian is someone who primarily eats a plant-based diet, but occasionally includes meat, fish, or other animal products. It's basically a flexible vegetarian, hence the name.
Oh.
Here's a quick breakdown. Main focus is fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Okay.
So occasionally we'll eat meat.
That's
predominant. I mean, I guess that's there. I guess it's fair to have a name for it because you're predominantly plant-based.
Yeah.
And you know, there is a difference because you can either say vegan or plant-based.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
So there has to be a name. So apparently there's a name. I had no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, because vegan people, it's not the same as plant-based. Plant-based, you only eat plant-based stuff. Like you don't eat any, like vegans eat like scientifically made stuff.
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah. True.
But,
okay.
Yeah. Plant-based, they just eat stuff from plants. All right, let's keep going.
In my personal environment too over the last few years. Growing up, I was always the only vegetarian among my family and friends. Just for explanation, I've never really liked meat since I was a child, so I've been vegetarian for as long as I can remember, simply because meat was always a food that I didn't really like the flavor and texture of. But when I'm in Germany now, suddenly a lot of my friends and family are vegetarian themselves, many are even vegan, or they're part of those 41% that are consciously reducing their meat consumption. Like my parents, for example, who suddenly always have meat substitute products in their fridge and plant-based milk, and when they do cook meat, it's more of a conscious decision. Same goes for my brother. And I'm still surprised whenever I'm at a restaurant with people in Germany and they just say something like, oh, the steak looks good, but I don't want to eat meat today, so I'm just gonna get the pasta. According to the official German Nutrition Report 2023, only 1 out of 5 Germans eat meat every single day. So 20%, which has gone down significantly from 34% in 2015. But what makes Germans want to incorporate a more plant-based diet to begin with? According to these surveys, most people say that they're doing it for environmental reasons, like to combat climate change, for ethical reasons, to reduce animal cruelty, and for health reasons. In addition to all of that, another factor that may have played a role in the decrease of meat consumption in Germany is inflation. If we look at the graphic again, we saw a bigger decline for 2022 than we did for previous years. And if we look at inflation rates, the meat prices actually went up by 15% from 2021 to 22, which is higher than the average price increase of goods for that time period.
That's interesting. So I wonder, did the prices go up because the consumption was down?
Right.
So it's like they needed to make up the loss that they had financially, so they increased the prices,
possibly,
which drove the consumption down more.
And she mentioned that for animal cruelty, I wonder, I haven't looked it up or seen any videos or anything about how the Europeans handle their animal farms.
Yeah.
Like, how do they do it? And what does it look like? Because I've seen plenty of videos how the U.S. does it, and it's horrific.
Yeah. I guess we always think in our heads that they're more sanitary.
That's how I imagine.
I guess. I don't know if that's
how
the
I
right
imagine.
word.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe
it's not. I don't know. It's interesting. Mm-hmm. And it kind of doesn't surprise me that because Germany seems like a caring nation that we've seen, like just with their laws for humans and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
So it doesn't surprise me that the population is more inclined to care about the environment, the animals, things like that.
So inflation could have definitely been a contributing factor here. Another thing that has drastically changed since I moved away from Germany is the selection of plant-based products, such as meat substitutes, milk alternatives, and other plant-based dairy products. This is what the selection at a regular German grocery store looks like, and those stores are tiny compared to American grocery stores, which means that the plant-based products actually take up a lot of space. There's honestly not a lot of things that you can't get a vegan version of nowadays, and a lot of the products are really good apparently. I mean, I can't really judge the meat substitute products because for me, the more it actually tastes like meat, the less I like it, so I don't even usually try those products. But according to the Forza survey, 72% of Germans say that the selection of plant-based products at German grocery stores is big enough or just right. And according to the nutrition report, one of the main reasons for purchasing these products, aside from environmental and ethical reasons, is because it tastes good and out of curiosity. 10%.
Oh, out of curiosity?
Yeah.
And it tastes good.
Yeah. So I was about to say, what are those options down there? Oh.
Out of curiosity is 73. Because it's good for the climate is 63. Animal protection 63. Because it tastes good 63. Because it's healthy 48.
Excuse me.
So that's not even like number one reason.
Yeah.
I heard or read about it. And then I can't read that last one. You guys can probably read it. Oh, allergies.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, yeah, because I drink oat milk. I use oat milk because of I'm lactose intolerant.
That's true.
So
okay.
Environmental and ethical reasons is because it tastes good and out of curiosity. 10% of Germans even eat vegan and vegetarian alternatives every single day, which is doable for many because while meat prices have gone up over the last few years, meat alternatives have actually become cheaper on the German market and are now either just a little bit more expensive than their traditional counterparts or even cost the exact same. Lidl, for example, one of the biggest German discounter stores, made huge headlines last fall when they announced that they were going to lower the prices of their vegan products to be comparable to their animal-based equivalents, and other stores followed their lead. Now, of course, you don't necessarily need these types of products to reduce your meat consumption or become vegan, but it definitely makes it easier for a lot of people because it allows them to make these changes without having to miss out on the taste altogether. My parents, for example, also like that they can just make the same recipes as before, but replace ingredients like ground beef with vegan ground meat to get that same texture. So it's not surprising that the meat substitute market in Germany has been exploding over the last few years. From 2019 to 2022, production went up by over 70%. One of the biggest German brands in this field is Rügenwalder Mühle, technically a long-established meat producer in Germany. But in 2014, they also started offering vegan alternatives to their products, and in the last couple of years, they've actually made more money with their vegan selection than with their traditional meat products. They've now even started to reduce their meat selection in order to focus even more on their almost 50 different vegan and vegetarian products.
What the?
This trend—
Yay, saving animals.
Dang, we probably would have loved it there when we were vegan.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Oh, wow. Because we used to, we moved from Austin, Texas to Washington. right over the border from Portland because of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, so we probably would have moved to Germany.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We didn't.
Since.
Yeah.
Okay. It has also entered the restaurant scene in Germany. Now, I talked about this more in detail in this video from 2 years ago about being a vegetarian in the US compared to Germany, but I never really struggled growing up in Munich. Most restaurants have always had vegetarian dishes as part of their regular menu, and even traditional Bavarian cuisine has always had vegetarian classics. Not usually vegan, but vegetarian for sure. And nowadays, even places like traditional Bavarian beer gardens or the Munich Oktoberfest that is famous for serving tons of meat every single year has a huge selection of vegan dishes. Most of the tents at Oktoberfest have added a dedicated vegan menu in the last couple of years, and there's even a vegan version of Weißwurst, a Bavarian classic that has become a huge trend. Meanwhile, the situation in the US is a little different, especially here in the Midwest.
I actually sometimes get vegan food, not necessarily vegan meat, but certain things off the vegan menu because of my egg allergy.
Oh yeah.
And you know, and honestly, I know I've talked about this in other videos, but I don't know, I haven't really like attempted. I've eaten a lot of more food that has egg in it, and I've been totally fine. But I haven't eaten like an egg.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know, but sometimes I just try to limit it.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of these people, they limit their meat. I just limit my egg intake.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I've definitely noticed that the selection of plant-based options at our regular Kroger, so our grocery store here, has become bigger over time. This was the plant-based section 2 years ago, and this is even a Kroger marketplace, meaning that it's bigger than their regular stores and also has other departments besides just groceries, kind of like a Walmart. So for the size of the store, this was a pretty small section. Now, 2 years later, it has definitely become bigger, and the same goes for the selection of plant-based food in the frozen section and the milk alternatives. There's even a vegan cream cheese now. Prices, however, seem to have stayed about the same or even gone up for some products, and apparently that's been the case for meat substitutes in the entire US, and they're expected to go up even more. When we look at the bigger—
That's true. You may or may not know this. We talk about this all the time. It costs more to eat healthy in the United States.
Exactly.
Than it does here in Europe, at least in our experience.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's cheaper to just buy, you guys, there's like certain things like Hamburger Helper. They're all like processed foods.
Yeah.
Or breads and pastas. So that's what people who don't have money, they eat.
They eat horrible.
There's no way you could get vegan food over there.
Yeah, no.
If you don't have a lot of money.
But you can go to, they call it like a Dollar Tree or something like that.
Exactly.
Where in theory, everything in the store costs $1. But you can't find anything healthy. There's no fruits or vegetables in there, anything like that.
It's just all carbs.
All carbs, all, bologna and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So. Processed meats.
Yeah. Boo.
Boo.
Your picture here, it almost seems like the US is moving in the opposite direction as Germany when it comes to the plant-based market.
It's taking advantage of the people who are trying to convert to a healthier diet, or for climate change, climate reasons, or for animal cruelty. It's taking advantage of them.
Feli's getting us mad.
I
need to calm down. But she's right.
Because she's talking about America.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Now we're all mad.
And she's pointing out one of the main reasons we left.
I know.
Because the food's crap. And they just care about making more money. And they know that people want to eat healthy.
I know.
And so they charge those people more.
Right.
Oh.
Let's look at McDonald's, for example. McDonald's, well, that's really the last place you should look for plant-based food. You might think so, but in Germany, even McDonald's has a variety of vegetarian and vegan products on their menu, beyond just the fries, which is one of the go-to fast foods for a lot of vegans, but even those actually aren't vegan in the US. Last time I had McDonald's in Germany, which I think was in 2022, I remember that they had a full-on vegan burger, the Vegan TS, and there were also vegetarian or vegan wraps. I remember that I had one of those and it was really good. Since then, their plant-based menu has actually changed a bit, and some people aren't too happy about it, but at least they do still have veggie options. They currently have the McPlant burger with a Beyond Meat patty, vegan nuggets, vegan fries, and hey, even curly fries, salads, these chili cheese snackers, which aren't vegan, but at least vegetarian, and every now and then they even have things like a vegan McFlurry. The McPlant burger did also make it to selected McDonald's locations in the US back in 2022, but after a 6-month testing phase, instead of rolling it out nationwide, they actually took it off the menu again due to low demand. And during the pandemic, McDonald's even removed the salads from their menu here in the US, and they never returned. They used to be my go-to road trip.
What? So the reason they probably, it's not very popular at McDonald's is because in McDonald's, it's where low-income people eat.
Right.
So a low-income person, we have already established they can't afford vegan options, things like that. So why are they just going to eat a vegan burger and that's it?
Right.
Yeah, they can't go home and eat other things vegan.
Right.
So it's not very popular there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Salads from their menu here in the US, and they never returned. They used to be my go-to road trip food for when I wanted something healthy every now and then. Another example that I stumbled across is Kentucky Fried Chicken. Turns out that in Germany, they have a giant vegan selection on their menu. In the US, nothing. Apparently, they did a test run with Beyond Meat a few years ago, but yet again, it didn't pass the test and was eventually taken off the menu again. Even at pizza chains in Germany, you'll often find a whole vegan menu, like here at Domino's, which is technically an American chain, or even Pizza Hut. I've never seen that at their US locations though.
Wow.
Maybe they offer it in other parts of the country, but around here, it doesn't seem to be standard. I have seen it at a couple local pizza places though. Now, Burger King is one of the only big fast food chains in the US that does offer a vegan option with the Impossible Whopper. Meanwhile, Burger King Germany actually offers a plant-based option for all of their burgers, even though they work with a different brand in Germany since Impossible isn't yet available in the EU. But here, even Burger King said in November that their vegan menu isn't, quote, a big part of their current focus, and they're unlikely to expand such offerings in the US in the near term. According to Joshua Kobza, the CEO of Burger King's parent company, plant-based options are selling better internationally, particularly in Western Europe, but there's no big change in the trends. And even Beyond Meat, which together with Impossible Food is one of the biggest players in the American plant-based market, is struggling. They actually just published their 2023 financial report, and compared to the previous year, their sales have dropped by 18%. It's interesting to see how different the market is developing here compared to Germany. In 2020,
because it's not affordable.
It's not affordable. Also, one thing that she doesn't touch on.
Of what?
This is going to be a controversial statement. It's political. In the United States, if you want to eat healthy and not, you're like a tree hugger. You know, they make fun of you. You're a woke, person like that. So so it's not a popular thing to be someone who cares about your health, unless you're in,
or cares about animals, or cares about the environment,
exactly.
or
like they want to be able to eat all the steer and ribs and steak and potatoes that they want to. They don't want anybody telling them not to do it. So I mean, she's probably not going to touch on that, but I think that's a big part of it because in the United States, the places that have a big like vegan and vegetarian population are in the Democrat cities or states.
Portland, Oregon.
Los Angeles, New York.
In Texas, it was Austin. Austin only.
Yep.
But you go outside of that, then it's all meat.
Yeah, it's all meat. And they make fun of you for asking for, like, I don't want the vegan, vegetarian crap. Give me a bull.
Right. Remember we lived in Austin, but we went like an hour out to look at some Christmas lights.
There's no option.
We couldn't find anything.
No.
We had to tell them pasta and with nothing. We couldn't put anything on it. Because it came with meat sauce.
Yeah, so I don't know. So I think that's a big part of it. And the political atmosphere is on the next level right now in the US. So I could see why some of those things are not very popular.
Me too.
And you got the president touting hamburgers.
Exactly.
Cheeseburgers.
Right.
Americans consumed about 227 pounds of meat per person. That's about 103 kilograms. Now, with these types of numbers, it's always kind of hard to know how comparable they are to statistics from other countries. The numbers for Germany only show human consumption, for example, while these US numbers seem to also include things like pet food. And there are different numbers floating around out there, so it's hard to know which one is the right one. But at the end of the day, all of them are significantly higher than the meat consumption in Germany. So we can for sure say that on average, Americans eat significantly more meat than Germans do, about twice as much. And the US even ranks among the countries with the highest per capita meat consumption in the world. Again, it depends on which list you look at, but the US always shows up as one of the top countries, like here right behind Hong Kong, or on this list, they're tied with Portugal. As someone living in the US, I'm not surprised by this at all. I feel like meat is almost always a part of savory meals here. Even for breakfast, it's super common here to have different types of sausage, bacon, or even steak. While in Germany, meat usually isn't part of a typical breakfast. Some people might have something like cold cuts on their bread in the morning, but that's about it. So if you ever travel to Germany, don't be surprised if the breakfast buffet at your hotel doesn't have any meat options aside from the occasional cold cuts. Which, by the way, I've been meaning to make a video about what Germans eat for breakfast. Is that something you'd be interested in? Let me know in the comments. When we look at US meat consumption over time, I couldn't really find a chart that went beyond the year 2020, but I did find these two statistics that show the consumption of beef and pork and the consumption of poultry, so broiler, turkey, and other chicken up until 2023. And we can see that the consumption of red meat actually went down from 22 to 23, which is a trend that's expected to continue this year. But poultry consumption has been going up every year, which if you do the math means that overall meat consumption in the US has stayed about the same over the last couple of years, but it's expected that we'll see an increase of about 10 pounds per person over the next 10 years. So unlike in Germany, we're not seeing a downward trend here. According to the latest survey conducted by Gallup, the amount of vegetarian and vegans in the US is going down as well. In 2023, 4% of Americans said that they were vegetarian and only 1% were vegan, compared to 5 and 3% in 2018. Even compared to 2012, this is a drop. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any surveys about how many Americans eat meat every single day to compare that to the survey from Germany, where it was about 20%. But based on these overall numbers and personal observation...
Sorry, I just want to say this. She said in 2012, there was a drop. President Obama was president from 2008 to 2012.
Right.
So, and I know that there was a huge push. I mean, Michelle Obama was all about healthy lunches for kids and everything like that. And so, you know, once he was in there from 2008 to 2016. So once 2016 happened, you know, there was a decrease there. It's amazing how politics is tied to everything.
I know.
In the United States.
Right.
I'm not saying it isn't other places. I don't know. But in the United States, like everything is tied to it, even what you eat.
Right. Right.
I would definitely assume that there are more people here that eat meat every day. This is not a statistic, just personal observation, but from what I see here in the Midwest, eating meat on a daily basis, or for some people even every single meal, is pretty normal. I sometimes almost get the feeling that meals aren't really considered complete if they don't contain any kind of meat. I always notice this when I look at restaurant menus here and see that even the salads each come with a different type of meat or fish, or that dishes that are technically vegetarian, like pasta or something, often have an option to add chicken or other types of meat for an upcharge. And the waiters then specifically ask you whether you'd like to add any protein to the dish. I found that labeling of meats as protein pretty interesting when I first came here, by the way. I talked about that a little bit more in depth in my vegetarianism video. I'm also sometimes caught off guard when there are dishes that I would have expected to be vegetarian, like Brussels sprouts or green beans or potato salad, but then they have bacon crumbs in it. It even happened to me that I ordered a side dish at a restaurant and the menu didn't mention anything about meat, but then when it came, it had bacon crumbs on top. Okay, this was a Cracker Barrel, so maybe not too surprising, but it's kind of a recurring theme. Now, of course, it's not...
Oh my God.
For those who don't know, Cracker Barrel is like a super popular restaurant in the South.
Right.
And South is all about
it's like a country
grits and you know, fried chicken and butter and all. Yeah. So
it tastes amazing, but it's horribly unhealthy.
It does taste amazing. It tastes amazing, but
it's horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible for you.
No, it tastes so good.
Not like you can't find anything vegetarian here. And of course, many restaurants here do have salads without meat. I mean, I've lived here for over 7 years now, and I do get by, but I do sometimes feel like I struggle more as a vegetarian here in the Midwest in 2024 than I ever did growing up in Germany. That's also something that I talked about more in the other video, so check that out if you want to hear more. This is just my personal experience though. I know that other vegetarians from Germany say that it's the exact opposite for them, and especially in regions like the East Coast or West Coast of the US, things certainly look completely different than they do in this part of the country. But what I'm trying to say is that in my experience, meat is pretty omnipresent here, so the statistics we've looked at are absolutely in line with my personal observations too. And by the way, now that McDonald's doesn't have salads here anymore, I want to give a big shout out to Taco Bell for becoming my fast food refuge.
What?
I know that many people don't like Taco Bell, but they're kind of everywhere in the US, and
That's interesting. She calls it Taco Bell.
A Taco Bell?
Yeah.
Cute.
they actually have a pretty big selection of vegetarian dishes on their menu, and their Black Bean Crunch-Up Supreme or the Veggie Power Bowl have saved my ass several times during road trips or even at airports. And I think they're even bringing out a full-on vegan Crunchwrap soon. So overall, what we're seeing in Germany is a conscious reduction of meat consumption with a thriving market for plant-based products that are becoming cheaper and more readily available, whereas in the US, plant-based companies are actually struggling and raising their prices, while meat consumption is expected to rise over the next few years. But how come that consumer preferences, demands, and eating habits of two wealthy Western countries are so vastly different? At first sight, it seems like maybe it just goes back to a more prominent consciousness for the environment and for animals. And I'm sure that plays a big role, but I think this might also have to do with the country's different historical identities. Now, this is me just sharing my thoughts and guesses. I don't know the true answer to this question, but I do know that historically, meat has played a pretty different role in the US compared to Germany. A lot of American settlers came from European countries where land was scarce and heavily regulated by royalty. Most of the common people didn't have access to meat all the time. So once they came to the New World, it seemed like there was unlimited land available for everyone. Of course, it technically belonged to Native Americans, but that's how they viewed it at the time. So suddenly, owning land and having livestock was possible for pretty much everyone, and Americans started to get used to meat being something that was always available. And it pretty much stayed like that to this day. I read that during World War I, President Wilson apparently asked Americans to implement at least one meatless day a week and one meatless meal a day in order to avoid the need for food rationing during the war. So I guess eating meat for pretty much every single meal was common in the US even 100 years ago. Meanwhile, throughout German history, meat consumption wasn't only restricted due to the rules of land ownership and the feudal system, but during the 20th century, the country was also hit by 2 world wars, which did lead to a lot of hunger. My grandparents' generation, for example, grew up during a time when even bread and potatoes were valued goods, and eating meat was very special and hard to afford for many people. As far as I know, that's never really been the case in the US. There's also the German tradition of the Sunday roast, Sonntagsbraten, which originally goes back to Christian customs several centuries ago, apparently. But even in the 20th century, a lot of Germans only had meat once a week for the celebratory Sunday roast. So I think that at the end of the day, Germans and Americans may have simply inherited a different mindset towards meat and the role it plays in their everyday life. But what do you guys think of this topic? What's your experience with meat and plant-based alternatives in the US and in Germany? I would love to hear your opinions and experiences.
You know, I feel like too that, and this may sound weird, but I remember we ate at it was called Harris Ranch, I think it was.
Yeah.
We ate at a steak place. It was like in the middle of nowheres, but it was known for its beef, and there was actually a dairy attached to this amazing restaurant, and you could see it from the highway. You know, it's a famous place. Yeah. And we ate there one time, and it felt like the steak was gigantic, first of all, but it felt like I could just eat the whole entire thing. And it was almost, I just was thinking to myself, this has to contain some kind of hormone or something that is making me feel like I just want to keep eating and eating and eating.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know for a fact that our meat is filled with more hormones.
Yeah.
And God knows what else. And I don't know if that is contributing to us. It's like nicotine, where it's just like some unconscious thing that you just feel like you have to have it. It's also culture, like she was saying, that we just have to have meat with every meal. Yeah. So anyway, we are on an anti-inflammatory diet. Yeah. Which is basically, we don't really eat red meat anymore. Just chicken and turkey and fish. Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
Chicken, turkey, fish. Yeah.
Chicken, turkey, and fish.
Well, I don't know. I did have myself a mixto today. It has some ham on it.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do that on occasion.
Yeah.
But quite often, actually.
I know.
All right, well.
Following it then.
Yeah. That was a good video. Feli never disappoints.
No.
I love Feli. All right.
Yeah, she does a lot of research. It's great.
Yeah, she's awesome. So we do have another channel, Greg and Lisa React. Over there, we really react to the UK. So head on over there. We'll include a link in the description for you. And we do have, what else do we want to say?
The members.
The members, yes. I always forget that.
I know.
Jeez.
Poor members.
Oh, sorry. No, I don't forget the members. I just always forget to say it.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true.
Yeah, we do have a member option on the YouTube channel.
Yes. And so if you want to go there, the main purpose of the members is to get your comments answered. It's hard for us to get to every single comment, especially after a day or two. I try to go as far back as I can sometimes, but to get all of your comments answered 100% of the time, become a member. And then we also do coffee and comments where we just chit chat and stuff like that. Yeah. For members as well. Yeah, we have fun over there. So, all right, let's take a look and see what the people got to say. So, calling Kesses oh wait, it's a translate here. Oh, oops, I didn't see that. Oh, light and healthy is hilarious. Okay, so obviously whatever that is not light and healthy. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it says here that what I love most about the change in meat consumption is that you don't get asked about it all the time. Used to be you ordered a vegetarian dish at a restaurant and immediately someone would ask if you don't eat meat. No sausage either. No chicken. Oh wow! Now it's just normal. Oh, okay. So it's just become the norm. I see. Mm-hmm. Oddly enough, I stopped getting veggie options in fast food restaurants when they switched from bean or vegetable patties to the extremely salty Beyond Meat and Impossible Meat options. The restaurants switched from tasty to convenient. I wonder if that's in the U.S. Because that was a problem with Beyond Meat, I think it was, that we used to eat over there, was the salt. Yeah. It so we didn't eat that fake meat that often because of how salty it was. Right. So I would make remember I make black bean patties and stuff like that. Yeah, that's true. That is one of the things that she didn't really talk about, is how unhealthy the Beyond Meat and things like that can be. So it's super unhealthy. Yeah, that's super interesting. So we do have another channel, Greg and Lisa React, and on that channel we react to UK options. We react to the UK. We'll include a link in the description so you can go on over there and take care of that if you want to see those reactions. Also, we do have members. Yes. And with our members, we get a lot of comments, which we're super grateful for. We get a lot of them, but we're not able to get to all of them, even though we would like to. So what you could do there is, if you become a member, we answer 100% of those. So definitely do that. Yes. Like the video. That really helps a lot. Wie immer, danke fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Video. Bis dann. Peace.